So, is Donald Trump Dwight Eisenhower? I want to just crush this idea into the ground. He is Ronald Reagan, and he is Ronald Reagan without the class. I don't know how to say it beyond that. You just heard Dwight Eisenhower's Iron Cross speech, where he talked about how when you think of the military, you should be instead thinking of the things that we could use. We could be buying the housing, the wheat, the miles of concrete highway, the schools, the hospitals. These were all the things that Eisenhower mentioned that could have been purchased instead of a new bomber or a new destroyer or a new warship. Here's Dwight Eisenhower warning us, this is clip number 4, of the military-industrial complex, which is, by the way, the opposite of what Trump is doing. He's saying, I'll be the best military complex ever. You know, I'm a tough guy. Anyhow, here's Eisenhower.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
Well, that was 1961. Just before or just after, it was January 1961, just before or after John Kennedy was inaugurated. It was Eisenhower's farewell address. And I'd say, you know, he was right in his warning, and we didn't pay attention. And instead, we went nuts. Republicans and Democrats, and just continue to, you know, build the weapon systems and build the empire. And then we went really nuts when the Supreme Court and Catherine Harris and Jeb Bush stole the election of 2000 from Al Gore and gave it to George W. Bush. And then he decided to declare war on Afghanistan and Iraq and totally destabilize the Middle East. So how would Trump versus Eisenhower deal with the world? Right? Well, here's Donald Trump first. So this is clip number 5.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
You have to take out their families. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their families.
Right. Kill their families. Ban the Muslims. Yeah, right. There you go. That's Donald Trump. Here's Dwight Eisenhower on the same issue. How do we deal with other people? What kind of example do we set for the world? Clip number 6.
During the long lane of the history yet to be written, America knows that this world of ours, ever growing smaller, must avoid becoming a community of dreadful fear and hate, and be instead a proud confederation of mutual trust and respect. Together we must learn how to compose differences, not with arms, but with intellect and decent purpose.
Now, I'm comparing Republican to Republican here. I could be playing FDR clips, right, but it would just sound like Bernie. I mean, in fact, Bernie basically channels FDR. But this is a former Republican president who, I mean, I remember from my lifetime, he was our president from 1952 to 1960, or 1953 to 1961, and Dwight Eisenhower, and he went on to say, by the way, as you know, Donald Trump is like, now he's going to put Rudy Giuliani in charge of some kind of commission to investigate Muslims. Rudy Giuliani, who, you know, as the attorney general, the prosecutor, or whatever he was in New York City, was just, I mean, it was just god-awful what he did. His whole law and order thing. A friend of mine was a victim of one of Giuliani's purges, just so that he could get publicity to become mayor. It's a whole long story. Someday maybe I'll tell it. But and then, you know, he became the mayor, and then, you know, stop and frisk and all this other kind of nonsense. Here's what Eisenhower says that we should be doing.
Today we are competing for men's hearts and minds and trust all over the world. In such a competition, what we are at home And what we do at home is even more important than what we say abroad.
So contrast that with Donald Trump, clip 8.
With respect to Libya, I'm interested in Libya if we take the oil.
I would just bomb those suckers. And that's right. I'd blow up the pipes. I'd blow up the I'd blow up every single inch. There would be nothing left. And you know what? You'll get Exxon to come in there in 2 months. You ever see these guys, how good they are, the great oil companies? They'll rebuild that sucker brand new. It'll be beautiful. And I'd ring it, and I'd take the oil. Donald J.
Governments sort of sounds like Dick Cheney, doesn't it? In 2002? Or Ronald Reagan. I'm telling you, this is Reaganism without the sophisticated patina. That's going to come. You're going to hear him turn into Reagan. But right now, this is raw Trump.
You're listening.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.